Most of the anthropogenic stress that is put onto the environment is present in the ocean. The health of the world depends on the health of the ocean, as it regulates processes such as temperature regulation and CO2 sequestration.
In this episode, we'll highlight the most dire of issues that are hurting our beautiful blue world and provide you with the information to protect it.
Humans as a species have always put their needs above all else, and we're finally seeing the impact of this. It's time we start doing something about it.
Commercial fishing methods, such as bottom trawling, purse seining, drift netting, and long lining, can have significant negative impacts on the environment. Bottom trawling, for example, can damage seafloors and habitats, causing long-term damage to ecosystems. Purse seining, on the other hand, can cause bycatch, which is the catching of non-target species, including endangered animals like dolphins and turtles. This is also a common problem during long lining and drift netting. But aquaculture, or fish farming, is often touted as a more sustainable alternative, and it can have some advantages. Aquaculture can be high yielding, efficient, and require less fuel than commercial fishing, but it also has its own set of problems. Large inputs of land, food, and water are needed to support aquaculture operations, and with so many fish in such close quarters, disease can spread quickly. Plus, the waste generated by aquaculture operations can be a significant problem. And then there's the issue of endangered species. Commercial fishing and aquaculture operations can put endangered species at risk, whether it's through bycatch or habitat destruction. So, what can be done to mitigate these problems? Regulations are an important step in managing the impact of commercial fishing and aquaculture. For example, the Endangered Species Act protects threatened and endangered plants and animals, while the Clean Water Act sets standards for wastewater treatment. There are also sustainable fishing practices that can help reduce the impact of commercial fishing. For example, catch limits or quota laws set limits on the amount of a certain species that can be caught in a certain time period.
Humans consume billions of tons of plastic every year and get into the ocean a number of ways, such as through storm drains. Plastic can make its way into waterways such as rivers and make their way to the ocean. Plastic in the ocean can take over 450 years to biodegrade, and as it deteriorates, it releases microplastics which can hurt organisms. This large debris can affect fish by impairing its ability to swim, survive, and reproduce.
In this diagram, on the top right, we can see a city that's receiving a lot of rainfall. Storm drains aren't filters, so when they take in water, they often pick up litter. This, along with illegal dumping from industrial processes, allow tons of plastic to get into the water. Debris left behind from fishing tactics also contribute to the amount of plastic in the ocean. Over time, these break down into microplastics, which animals often confuse for food and consume. Biomagnification of toxins in plastic can greatly affect ecosystems by lowering biodiversity. To ensure a safer and cleaner environment, remember to refuse the plastic, to reduce the amount of waste you produce, to reuse and repurpose and recycle properly, to reduce the amount of plastic in the ocean.
In the past year, more than 54% of coral reefs have fallen victim to coral bleaching. South America, specifically Brazil, has felt the worst effects. I'm here with a student at Doherty Valley High School, and we're going to ask them about coral bleaching. Do you know what coral bleaching is?
I don't. I think coral bleaching is when corals die and give off a certain type of chemical that basically rots and degrades the animals in the ocean.
Hey, do you know what coral bleaching is?
No, I don't know what it is. What is it?
Hey, do you know what coral bleaching is?
Isn't that when just coral dies?
No. Actually, coral bleaching occurs with an increase in global temperatures, and global warming is a significant cause of this. An increase in temperatures causes the algae that live in the coral to leave, and without the algae, the coral lose their color.
Beneath the vast ocean surface lies the deep sea. However, this large expansion isn't exactly free, as over 1.5 million kilometers are impacted by continuous exploration and extraction. This process destroys habitats and depletes land deposits. In addition, mineral exploration causes numerous forms of pollution. Debris and sediment fills into clear and pure environments. Less mobile deep-sea organisms are killed through direct contact with heavy machinery. It's also important to talk about the polymetallic nodules, which are home to high levels of metals and minerals that are essential for the nourishment of million-year-old life forms. These nodules are crucial to deep-sea life, and the exploitation of those poses the threat of extinction to many aquatic species. Mining impacts spread far from just the mining site. Water discharge containing toxic plumes could expand for kilometers, hurting more marine life. One significant example is that of tuna fish, which are crucial to many economies of international fisheries. The effects from mining could suffocate the tuna fish and hurt respiratory and feeding systems. In addition, there would be reduced oxygen levels, acidic waterways, and higher water temperatures. Finally, this issue does dabble into the overall climate change scene, as the loss of deep-sea biodiversity harms the ability of the ocean to regulate the carbon cycle. All this does is mitigate our ability to fight the global temperature rise. The effects of climate change and pollution are so far-reaching, and it is evident that we cannot save it overnight. But by doing our part now, supporting the next generation and the one after, we will start a cycle that will save the future of our planet and everything on it.